because the power that the woman had, when people first started seeing Rastas with dreadlocks, the subconscious memory of the Gorgons shook fear in the marrow of the first so many people that seen it. And this is why. The Gorgons were warrior queens, and they were also called the Sibyls. And they had factions that protected Earth all over Earth before the invaders came. This is your story of the Amazonian warrior princesses. In real life, if you want to know real stories of them, they still exist. These warrior women are still here. They're with us. They walk with us every day. We see them carrying the weight of the world on their shoulder with a smile, never knowing that they are an undercover warrior of God. So when they seen these dreadlocks, what they call the Nazarene rite, they thought the Gorgon had returned and awakened. So that's why they automatically call Rastas the natty dread, or that dreaded lock. They dreaded that the Gorgons, which is all women, by the way, there are no men that were Gorgons, and they reproduced through parthenogenesis, and they were guardians of Earth. That was their job. Now, when the invaders came, they put the Earth into a coma. And they done it by flipping the grid from an electron-proton-electron grid, which was feminine in construct, into a proton-electron-proton grid, which is masculine in construct. Now, how did the prophecies know at this time it would be a rampant amount of what they call homosexuality? It has nothing to do with anything being wrong with a person. It goes with an energy and a weakening of a contract right called the gender contract in hermetics. When you get to the end of the age, all of the laws become subject to be re-examined, including the law of gender. So when they examine the contracts, all of the things that take place are things that take place. And people want to put judgments on it. You can't put a judgment on it because it's the thing that's taking place is taking place. By putting a judgment on it is not going to help or support it. It's only going to make it into a negative. What you want to do is find the healthy, happiest, and the best outcome for all people involved. If you don't put a condemnation on it, you don't hold a negative vibration to it, when we make the shift, everything will correct itself. But if we keep the negative low vibrations and we go to make the shift, people are going to turn into dust, literally, as the story of Lot's wife, because they stuck in the old energy, which is symbolically looking back. You can't stay stuck in that negative hate energy. You can't stay stuck in that he white and she black energy. That's the old energy. That was all done for the cleansing process of Earth. All that negative energy got to go now. It got to go. And when that negative energy is gone, we're going to all have heaven on earth. But first, we have to find the unified front in order to oust that negative energy in unison. Basically, we have to flip the grid back to the feminine grid and restore the natural manner in which humans live, which was a matriarchal people. And they don't mean that your man is a lesser configuration of the family. It's just that it's a different setup. It's a different setup under matriarchy than patriarchy. It doesn't take any power from men. Actually, it makes the matriarchal system makes a powerful man hundreds of times more powerful, because it's relying on him having to influence strong-willed, clear-thinking women that his interests in the recovery of the rights of the people are so right and correct. he can't fool that many women. He can bullshit men. He can convince a lot of women in different ways of different things. But when it comes to saving these babies, he cannot convince a collective of women, if he is not about the right thing, that he's going to do anything to save these babies. And she put him in power. If he get in power and he slip through the cracks, the collective of women, if they turn their back on him, he's just going to fall. That's why they've been telling us all this time behind every great man is a great woman. She pulling the fucking strings. So it boils down to the energy matrix. And then this is what they're telling you by the Amazonians. When the Gorgons were overthrown, which is an overthrow of the matriarchal system and the establishment of a male patriarchal system that was not conducive to women having any role of prominence. When the Romans got married, they had to dress their newly married women up like a little boy, or else they couldn't have a sex act with her. Now, in this modern time, we should ask ourselves, how is she supposed to feel as a female and a woman, right? That in order for her husband she just married to be aroused, she got to look like a boy. That don't make no sense. In order for her husband, how is she supposed to feel? A woman is an emotional creature. They need to be emotionally nourished. How is she supposed to feel if she had to look like a boy in order to get her husband attention? Something is broke. Look at the artwork in Rome. You hardly see anything that promotes anything woman or feminine. Because what happened was this. The story is about Helen. And this is where your hell come from. And this is about the Gorgons and the falling of the goddess and the overthrow of the patriarchy. It's all tied into this. And this is how I go. Go back to Greece. Helen is a woman. Go back to Greece. Helen is a woman. Helen in Greece developed, or Helen's influence in Greece, I should say, developed all of the Greek philosophers, all of the Greek scientists, healers, all that developed under the influence of Helen. Now they call it Hellenistic. Now, watch what happened. Rome took Helen, kidnapped her. And this is where they talk about Medusa had her head chopped off. He kidnapped her. When they kidnapped her, they replaced her with a man dressed in drag, and they called him Helen. Right? Now, when you look at the Greek pantheon and you get to Helen, Helen is all of a sudden male. This is how we got in hell, because this is Hellenism. When they undermined that woman like that, what they did was they injected into the process of the growth of humans what they call a reptilian trait. It's a book called The Selfish Gene. I don't got to tell you nothing else. The book you need to read to understand when the patriarch took over, they activated the selfish gene. It's a whole book about it. You can study it all you want. The selfish gene. Because that's the reptilian part of the human animal. But the human is more mammalian as higher evolved. That's why the smallest part of your brain in the stem is called your reptilian brain. Your reptilian brain is the one that's selfish, and it requires a low vibration, and it makes you operate off animal instinct. That's your reptilian brain. When you get to your cerebral cortex, your major mammalian brain, your second mammalian and big mammalian brain, you are talking about your RH brain. Now, this part of the brain is not fully realized because of the barrier. I'm not allowed to discuss the barrier right now. But this part of the brain is not fully realized, because once it becomes fully realized, this activates the other 2/5 to make the 3/5 become the 5/5 realized, having first claim of right and jurisdiction of soul and body. Because the body is just a vessel created for the soul to animate the 3D reality. So once that happens, then we all become in control of the self. But the hell in Hellenism, Georgetown University History of the World has a little section there that describes how it worked. Hellenism. Pay attention. You pick your leader. You ride and die with your leader to the end. But they need control and influence in your sector. But your leader is a barrier to their control. Hell is short for Hellenism, so pay attention. Under Hellenism, they find a person that'll sell you for a price. And then they promote him. They put him at odds against the leader that you actually pick. Then they neutralize him. Take him out of power and authority. They neutralize him is the term they use. They don't say execute because they may not execute him. They may just charge him with a whole bunch of sex crimes, use him as a public spectacle to cover up a political agenda that's taking place in the background. Or they may call him a molester because they're scared that he might be the Christ. And when they can't convict him of sex crimes against children, they might just go on and pay a doctor to execute him because he just might be the Christ. If you knew the history and paid attention, you'd know. Okay, now, they know the real Christ, they can't do nothing to, so the only way they can kill him, he was a fake. But he never claimed to be. So, when you look at pop culture and you watch the news and you see all of your president jumping around like Donald Duck and being a buffoon, the man is very intelligent. That's called, in debate, a red herring, meaning that it's a tool of distraction used to bring your attention. The same thing, misdirection. David Copperfield. While he doing all this, hey, I'm stupid president, read the ticker, because they're probably going to be telling you something to the effect of they planning a war with this country or that country, or they indicted this person or that person, or they might not even put it in the regular news. They might put it in some what they call tabloid format.
Hey, beloved, how you doing?
I'm good.
Tell the clan where you chiming in from.
Chicago, Crystal.
Chi-town in the house.
Yep.
Yeah, back again from the city of Wind.
Yeah.
Afro, Black Girl Magic. Go on, say what you gonna say, girl.
That's why I wanted to tap in, because you like froze up, feathers up, froze up. And I'm like, look, I got my fro. Let me tap in real quick. See what's to it. There's a lot going on.
Frequency.
Already. I wanted to say something too, because I know, we get into getting the family together, and I know a lot of sisters are feeling like a little resistance because of the family drama and trauma. But I just want to say, like, just do that shit, y'all. Just forget about what happened yesterday and just go on today and just move forward. Act like whatever happened didn't happen.
Fake it till you
If
make
it didn't kill you, your ass here to keep going. Let that shit go.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm really talking to myself too, as far as my blood sister. We came out the same vagina. We could let that shit go. I don't give a fuck about nothing. None of the pain. We gotta do this shit.
Well, as long as it ain't no predators in the family.
Oh no! Now those motherfuckers, we gonna drag out and they get their ass whooped.
Yeah, it's up to the family.
That's why I called the family meeting.
Yeah, so y'all know if you got one in the family gonna know who they is for long.
Absolutely.
But other than that, all of the rest of what you said is valid.
Absolutely.
And look, the stuff for the ladies, because she had your skirt on in high school, that she not your enemy. She borrows your skirt without asking.
She slept with your baby daddy, all of that. Forget
shit
about it. Fuck all that shit. All of it was a distraction, a trick.
Yeah.
Move forward. It's gonna be okay.
Yeah, but love is the conqueror.
Oh yeah.
All you got to do is remember, No, this, even if you can't get along with the other adults, don't interfere with the relationship of the children between themselves.
Absolutely.
Because in my family, like I keep in contact with the people in my age group. I can call my daughter and she could tell me what's going on with any one of her cousins anywhere in the country. Right? But she ain't gonna tell me. But she can, but she ain't gonna tell me. Because she know that they got their code. And we taught them their code. Right? So they follow that shit. They talk among each other. The only time they involve the elders, the parents and the grandparents, is when it's some shit that's about to go down that's bad. And they have to. But for the rest of like their personal shit, they keep that among themselves. They got their own about 40 motherfuckers in the family chat for their age group.
Yeah.
They keep track of each other.
That's good.
Mm-hmm. But that's because of the work my aunties and my mama and them put in as we was growing up. Right?
That good family structure.
Yeah, because I can go anywhere in the country and when in my family house and I'm welcome there.
Right.
I don't got no family that's going to say, oh, no, that nigga can't stay here.
Right.
I don't give a fuck what he do, but he can't come here. I don't have that. That's not my experience. Right? And even the bad experiences I had with our family members, we wiped that shit up within the motherfucking month.
Exactly.
We ain't let that shit carry on no 10, 20 years. Because I tell all my cousins, I say, I don't give a fuck what we fight about, motherfucker. When we over ain't so-and-so house, we ain't doing none of that dumb shit.
Right. None of that.
None of that. And they
just
be like we all with it. We can fight. Me and my cousins, we fought growing up. You know what I'm saying? We, turned to each other, spit red and shit. But you know what? They can come to my house and I can go to theirs and we ain't gonna have no arguments as adults.
Right. And look, my mom had 5 of us, right? My brothers just had a fight last week, scuffed each other up on some. But my birthday was the other day. Best believe we was all over here in my room kicking it like nothing happened. You know?
Yeah. Now here goes
the fight.
Let somebody come fuck with one of them. They gonna both be over there on their head.
Over with. I done did that before. Fought my sister. She got into it. And I'm like, oh, hell no. Ain't nobody gonna whoop her ass but me. Yeah.
Ain't nobody putting their hands on my siblings but me. Now, I believe that my brothers got to, they all right. They can handle themselves. As long as ain't nobody trying to jump them, they do like me. Scrap. We into that shit. But, Mama said don't let nobody take nothing from your brothers and sisters and don't let nobody bully you. I said, yes, ma'am. And she ain't got to tell me no more. But she used to tell me a lot, but she didn't have to tell me. When she told me the first time, I got it.
Yeah. Yep. And my mom, she definitely came through because I was on some resistance shit, holding some shit over my head, having a chip on my shoulder. And she just popped up from out of town for my birthday and everything just came together. That was Big Mama all day. Coming through.
The shit now is starting to move so fast, I'm starting to get butterflies. I feel like Michael Jackson. You give me butterflies.
inside. Yeah, definitely. The chills. Hey, I get chills every time I hear that song. So yeah, it's just so much. I can't keep up, but I'm just in bliss.
That's it. We're trying to get everybody to feel that ocean just waiting to come back in. Soon as Bookman do adjourn that conjure, watch how everybody be feeling like you feeling.
Man,
it's gonna be everywhere. That shit gonna be like contagious. Everybody gonna be waking up all giddy. Motherfucker hate to go to work. Gonna be skipping to work, talking about why am I so happy to go to work? I don't even fucking know, but it's just so beautiful to be able to. It's gonna see shit different than a motherfucker. Because we ain't gonna be in war no more. We're gonna be at peace.
And I'm looking forward to that. And it's crazy you just said that because I was just thinking earlier, like, okay, how can I help people get to that? Because I stress myself out trying to do that. And, I do it naturally, but I be trying to master it.
This is the keys right here. Be you. Feel that way. It's contagious if you don't worry about if somebody feel it. If you try to force it, then you block it from being contagious.
Mm.
So just be. Just be. Feel that shit. And when you be around people, it radiates.
Yeah.
All it is a mitochondrial link.
Mm-hmm.
And Big Mama turning up the highest, the first family now. And that's why y'all feeling that shit now. Starting to get giddy and happy and shit.
Yeah.
It ain't even turned all the way up yet.
Nope. And I just thought about something. Okay, this just got placed on me. My daughter does this, and she get it from me. It's the same thing. It's you said that too to this little girl one day on here. You know that light, your glow inside your star. Like I could do that all day. Like, and that's why I want to tell the adults now. Like, don't y'all remember when you were little and you just get excited and just for no reason you be like, "Ee!" That shit right there. Like I could do that shit out of nowhere. My daughter does that. All my children, and it's beautiful. That's how you tap in. Like whenever you feel that, and you know, like ain't shit going on, and you just feel it, man, feel it, and
I'm gonna tell this
do anything with that energy.
When you feel like you've been having like a bad couple of days in a row, stop everything you're doing and go find a pack of kids and read them a book, sing them a song or something. I guarantee you that energy, by the time you get done, will be transmuted to a higher energy frequency.
Yeah.
The baby's gonna do it to you. When you give them from the heart, and they give it back, you can't help it.
Yeah.
Lil Zoe gave me a thumbs up. I almost caught the Holy Ghost.
That'd be beautiful. I love that shit, man. And that's why I be telling people they don't be understanding. I be like, man, I'm glad I had children. I had my first baby when I was 17. Like, if I didn't have children, my children saved a lot of lives. Like, they saved my life. Children saves lives.
I think my life would have been different if I would have went to prison with no children, because I'd have been a bitter motherfucker through the whole bit, and I probably wouldn't have been as cordial to get along with. But I had my children to look forward to spending time with when I came home.
Yeah. That's another reason why it was easy for me to quit my job.
Fuck a job.
My children started saying like, "Mommy, we barely see you." I broke down, started crying like, "Fuck this post office, man. I don't give a fuck what happened. Like, I'm steady getting sick. Like, I was going against the grain, getting my ass kicked." And that was the final straw when they was like, "Mommy, we don't see you." And I'm like, "Oh, hell no."
Hey, you know, all this time they've been teaching the children the hokey pokey, right? It's a conjure. It's a children's conjure. So, the hokey pokey, the steps of it is all telling the children to take part in the mass magic performance. That's why I put my arm in, put my arm out, right?
You shake it all about.
Yeah. When they're shaking it all about, they supposed to be visualizing pixie dust coming off their hands. Yeah. They activating magic. You teaching it to them, right? You don't know. You don't know it's magic. It's children's magic,
right?
And it's a couple more of the children. They start coming up with their own when the adults didn't know the hokey pokey was harnessing their magic. Remember when Superboy dropped Superman?
Yeah.
The children started using it for conjure. When the other one,
it makes sense.
It's them songs that little kids make for them to dance to. Any of those songs, listen, any song designed by children for other children to dance to, those are baby children magic practice. The adult that knows the conjure can unlock that energy in the children and turn that love energy up in them, using those things as the vehicle by which you turn that energy up, right? So in Detroit, we be having, like my man said earlier, we Jit City in this month, right? But when we in Chicago, we was stepping in the name of love,
right?
You know what I'm saying? That's how that's what R. Kelly was singing. He still thought he was 8 years old. The dumbass nigga didn't know he was damn near 40.
Yeah.
He don't know. He just think he a kid making music.
Right.
right? He Rain Man, so he still can tap that magic. It's hard when they have that kind of power to teach them how to grow up. And if they don't have a man around them to teach them how to grow up, they won't never grow up in certain areas, and it'll make them susceptible, like R. Kelly, to being fed children and not being able to know the difference in a 25-year-old and a 12-year-old. Socially retarded, right? But he's a musical genius. And yeah, so but that children's magic is in that they got tired of the adults not using it. If you look at all of the children that used to follow those dance steps, they're not like the other children.
No.
They're the children that'll go out and get a job, they'll work, they won't ask for a whole lot of stuff. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to use their personal power. Right? Whereas the children right in the generation before that shit, less likely to want to work, they less likely to want to use their personal power. You can see the transition that was taking place through the culture and the music. That's a beautiful thing to see.
It is.
Yeah. All right,
and
so I'm gonna let you drop down. I'm gonna take another one in. I don't know how long.
Okay, I was just singing Miss Mary Mac the other day. That used to be my shit when I was little.
Oh yeah, Miss Mary Mac, all dressed in black.
Black with silver buttons. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Talk to you later. Love you.
All right, sweetie.
All right.
Deloria.
Hello, Rod.
What's going on, sweetie? How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
I'm good. Where you chiming in from?
So I'm actually in Georgia right now, but I'm actually from Peoria, Illinois. So I don't know if you're familiar with that place,
I
that
know
area.
where Peoria is.
Okay, perfect. So actually, I'm chiming in because I had a question. I had a dream that's kind of been like bothering me a little bit, and I just kind of.
When you say bothering you, what do you mean? Like you can't get it off your mind, or making you feel spooky?
I can't understand it. I mean, I feel like I should be able to understand it, but I can't get it off my mind, and I'm trying to understand it.
Okay. Now, when a dream stay on your mind, it's the difference in the dream that bother you and the dream that stay on your mind. The dream that bother you is a warning. The dream that stay on your mind, it's going to stay on your mind because you're trying to figure out what the meaning of the dream is. Exactly. So there's a difference. That's why I asked the question.
Okay.
So tell me the dream. Take it from the top. Tell me the dream, and let's see what we come up with.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so I'm on this ship, and I know it's in outer space because I'm working in a lab, and there's a window, and outside the window I can see the stars. I can see outer space. And so on this conveyor belt, I'm in like a lab. I have like a lab partner, and on this conveyor belt we have these clay molds of babies, and basically our job is to put the life inside of the baby. So when we do it, the babies instantly turn brown. Like that's the first sign of their life, and then we wait for them to.
You can stop right there. That's not a dream. That's why I was bothering you. That was actually happening in the development of the Earth when the sisters decided that they would let Earth be inhabitable. That's what y'all was doing when y'all was creating the human, and spiritually. You was going back to the spiritual nexus of the location where y'all was doing it because you was one of the doulas that was overseeing the project.
Okay, so but here's the part that I don't understand. So you're right. That for some reason that part felt natural, but the part that's on my mind is that as we're doing this, I got another baby clay mold, and when I put the life into it, the color never changed. It stayed white. But the baby woke up and was alive. And I just remember thinking, like, we both kind of looked at each other like, that's not right. But we let it go through because it was alive. But that's the part that's,
That was the actual response when they created the artificial humans, the artificial souls they couldn't have seen. That's why they didn't turn brown. And that's what made the wolves, all of the guardian wolf spirits of the earth converged in Europe. And this is how we discovered the anomaly, because they was never supposed to go through that cycle where y'all could see them. So after y'all seen a certain amount of them, y'all called the Queen of Heaven and Earth and explained to her that there's an anomaly going on, and y'all didn't have an answer for it because somebody's doing something on Earth. Y'all can, so you going back in the spirit realm where you transfer souls into forms, into bodies. And so once this was discovered, she called for the guardians, the Earth Guardians, because they was being reported that the Earth Guardians wasn't on their post, which is they wolf spirits, but they personify as giant fucking wolves when a crisis is taking place on Earth. So this is why you have the story of Romulus and Remus suckling from the she-wolf, right? They said that Remus got murdered and Romulus became the founder of Rome. Or maybe it's backwards, but because I always get them mixed up. But anyway, so this is why that story is in the historical record. So when in Kemet, we was doing the cyclic repeat of the Holy Drama. And so the Queen of Heaven and Earth was stationed at that time in Egypt. So when they brought her, when they found the wolves, they was guarding the cave. And when they went in the cave, they discovered a bunch of malformed beings in there, but they didn't know they was malformed. They just didn't know what the fuck they was.
Right, okay.
So they took them back to Egypt to present one to the Queen of Heaven and Earth. And when she seen it, she said, what manner of beast is this? And none of the scientists knew what the fuck they was looking at. And it's, birth defects.
Right.
Right. But they were sentient. But they came to sin in that condition. Because the soul can't expand to its proper development when the body that is being used to train the soul is malformed. Right? So we begin to see birth defects for the first time. And this is what told us what was being done on Mount Sinai.
Okay.
Right. So it's more to it. I went through all that on the video series with Young Elder. So she ordered that the good got to punish with the bad, because you can't throw people away like trash.
Right.
And you going to be treated, the people you mistreat going to be the same motherfuckers mistreat you.
Exactly.
And because you so high and mighty, somebody got to bring you down and show you that it's no matter how big and bad your ass is, Big Mama got a remedy for all you motherfuckers.
Exactly. Yep.
And that's how we end up in this condition to this day. This is the end of it. And that's why my mom say, I'm so glad trouble don't last always. We was in fucking trouble. We got in trouble with the Queen of Heaven and Earth because we let these motherfuckers come down here and do something they ain't got. So she whooped our ass.
Yeah. I'm getting my ass whooped, definitely.
No, it's time, ass whooping time over with. That's over with now. Now it's time to celebrate the return of the Sweetwater.
I'm ready. I'm so ready.
I told you we about to have Mardi Gras or every major city. Mardi Gras, Mardi Gras.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
They talking that doomsday shit. Fuck, that's just some scare tactics to slow your progress down. We about to have Mardi Gras. From Maine to Arizona, from Alaska to Florida, from motherfucking the Canadian North of Nova Scotia to the bottom of Argentina. We finna turn up on these motherfuckers.
Hey, so my next question, real quick, and then I'm gonna let you go. But my last name is Artis, Artis. I'm guessing that's a Canadian French name, more Canadian on the
That's
more
a
likely.
profession.
Oh, really?
Your name is, so somebody in your family established your last name because they was an artist.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Right. Now, what kind of artist depends on, you can look at your family and you can see what y'all have a penchant for doing.
Yeah.
Right. You know, you got singers in the family, or you got painters in the family, or instrument players in the family. But when you got the name artist as a clan name, they all got different art forms that could be associated with the clan.
Okay, because I got 13 brothers and sisters, and I'm probably the only one that is not an artist. Every one of them, you know, they all have a, you know, a specialty like a art, like you're saying. But I don't know. I just figured that it was more like a French. But okay,
How many
all right.
children you got?
I don't have any kids. I don't have none.
Because you might be this is the craziest shit, y'all women do this shit. But you might not want to express your artistic talents with the world right now. You might be saving it so that you can use it to develop the artistic talent in your child. As they see yours develop, they'll follow the suit. So you could be just waiting to be a mother in order to turn that on.
That you might be right, 100%. Might be right. Yeah.
Look here. Watch my opinion. You see it?
You a doula, yeah. You know, I thought about that. I wanted to be a nurse. I actually like children, but I just don't have any. So I mean that makes a lot of sense. Okay. That makes a whole lot of sense. Okay.
Right. Because that came up earlier in the conversation we having related to what you was doing in the spirit realm.
Okay.
So it would make perfect sense that if you had a drive or the traction to be in the doula, you would probably be one of the best ones. Right? So, like, I wanted to be a doctor, but when I caught my felony, I couldn't be an MD, so I turned into a witch doctor. It's a will, it's a way.
You're
That's
right.
what my mama told me. I told my mama, I said, Mama, I couldn't be a doctor and like my cousin Calvin, because we supposed to went to med school together. But I had C's and D's anyway. I had grandiose delusions at the time because I wasn't finna get in nobody's medical school with C's and D's. But that was our thing. We were both going to be doctors.
And
so he went on to be an MD. So I couldn't be an MD. So what the fuck? What kind of doctor can I be? And then I looked at my family line and I was like, shit, I'm going to be a witch doctor.
But you know what? I when I first started going to school, I wanted to go to school for a nurse, but I just could not do the school. I just couldn't do the classes. It's just something that I just couldn't. I had to take all these other extra classes. It just didn't fit. And so I never completed school for that. But that was something that I, always wanted to be, was a nurse. But yeah, that was.
So the way that we teach in the doula center is not going to be like the university. As a doula, you got a wide breadth of knowledge you have to assimilate. But when you first come in, we don't drop every fucking piece of information you need on you. You're not going to realize until you get to a certain point that, goddamn, I went through all that in that short period of time.
Yep.
But doulas are taught hands-on by doulas.
Exactly. That's how I learned. Yep.
You start off, you might have to be the one that fold her towels and watch. Go get the water while she's doing whatever she's doing. But she's instructing you and showing you the intricacies of being a doula. Right? The birth maidens is what they used to be called in ancient times, using the English language as a translation. Right? They was referred to as birth maidens, would be the English equivalent. And most of their life, because you learn, the doula doesn't stop assisting the mother until the child go off to their rites of passage. So we talking in modern terms, not until they enrolled in real school, kindergarten and preschool, the doula's still assessing the child. When the doula finally give her final report, she's telling the mother, your child has a drive to do this, so you should put this in their path to make sure they learn so they can strive for their best life according to these parameters. They study the child. Childhood psychologists was doulas. And they got so many things that they are responsible for, but because it's the way that it's taught and the way that it's assimilated, it doesn't seem like you're doing nothing but being a good ass auntie. They just know a lot of shit.
Okay, I'm so sorry. I got one more thing. Like the way you just said that. Okay, so when I first moved to Georgia, I stayed with my sister, and she had two little girls that were very young. And my sister was so mean. She would say some of the worst things, like, call them bitches, saying you're not gonna ever be nothing. I wish I would have aborted you. And so I'm hearing all these things with my own ears. And so, I'm trying to talk to them. I'm trying to talk, like that's not true, whatever she's saying. I'm really there for them. And it got so bad to a point where nothing that I would say, like it's just, I know that's their mom, but it was just like nothing that I would say or do will overwrite what she's done to them. And so I just kind of like gave up and moved out once they got a certain age. Once they got old enough, I moved out and moved on my own because I just felt like there was nothing else I could really do, because nothing was sticking. Like I said, it's almost kind of like everything that she said, it just kind of overwrote any type of positivity that you would try to breathe into them.
You'd be
And
surprised. So the way that the children, they might come off with the mother's imprint as a primary, but if you still giving them love, when it come time to trust somebody, they're gonna come to you.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, they taught
Right.
me everything.
So the problem is your sister's the one need the help.
Yeah, I think she's beyond help. She's delusional
No,
at this point.
Mama said you don't give up on nobody till they gave up on themselves. And
Okay.
you don't know a person that haven't gave up on themselves. They might just don't know how to get from under the stress.
That could be true.
She don't know how to cope with her stressors, so she takes it out on the children, the weaker people.
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
So the goal is to teach her to be more self-confident, and she'll be less mean to the children.
Okay.
She got low self-esteem. All of the things that she's doing to her children, it's the same as the people that cut themselves.
Yep.
Right? It's not that she don't love her children, because she'll fuck somebody up about them. But she don't understand that she's fucking them up by the way that she's interacting with them. Later on, when she wake up to what she's done to them, the remorse, she might not be able to overcome the remorse.
I don't think so, because I mean, it's horrible. I don't know. I never thought a mother could ever treat their daughters like that, especially girls, But but you know what? Thank you so much. That was all I had. I'll let you take another caller, but thank you so much. I appreciate everything that you said to me. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for coming in, sweetie.
You're welcome. Okay.
Reciprocity of energy. So look, a lot of times these mothers are not properly pair bonded. This is why doulas is so important. They're not properly pair bonded with the child, because instead of allowing the cycle of the oxytocin and endorphins to cycle through the child back through the umbilical cord, the psyche is told that the child is stillborn, and the mother is seeing the child and she's conflicted in her deep emotions and don't know what it is, so she becomes aggressively abusive to the child. But you fuck with that child, she'll fuck you up. But she doesn't understand that her pair bonding is off because she never had a doula before during pregnancy and in the formative years of adolescence, where the child is developing a personality. So she don't know how to properly connect with the child, and it comes out as abuse. All of this stuff is going to be corrected and treated. And the doulas is going to be more important than the psychs. Psychiatrists is only there to give you medications in order to numb whatever the psychological sensation that they call an abnormality, right? So they're not really there to heal you. The doulas is there to heal you. They don't want you to be miserable with your child. They want you to enjoy your child, and they want you to be properly pair bonded, because the mother that's properly pair bond with the child is a whole different person than the one that's traumatic, the trauma bonded to the child, right? Because it makes them take out negative emotions on the child because they are bonded through a trauma bond instead of a parental bond. And postpartum depression, as the sisters say right here, is a critical part or a critical symptom of improper pair binding. The doulas know what to do. Every one of the sisters is watching. If you're pregnant, make sure that you have a doula or a certified midwife that that is familiar with child psychology, because they're gonna make sure that the mother is properly pair bound. They slap the child on the ass, trauma. The child cried, trauma to the mother. Then they cut the cord, double trauma. The baby, the placenta told the mother that there's been an obstruction and the baby is dead. But the mother looking at the child, her eyes is saying, I see the baby right there. But if they don't slap the baby, he has no trauma. Clear the airway, and then you post the baby on the mother's teeth. The baby's supposed to suckle until the placenta releases naturally, at which time the placenta is then either harvested, or some people leave the placenta on until it fall off. But it depends on the doula, which the doulas come in tribes too, right? So we got doulas that teach from a different learning style than a different doula, but they all have one thing in common. They want the mother properly pair bonded with the child so that the child can have proper mothering as it grows, because it changes the way the adults are made, and it changes the way that the adults behave. If we don't get a hold on this shit soon, we're going to be producing more derelicts. We don't want that shit. They was doing that shit to be fodder for their prisons and their work camps. So I'm going to take another sister, but that's an important issue that and the women need to be aware of.
Hey, peace. How's it going?
Good. How you doing, sweetie? Tell them where you chiming in from.
From Arizona.
Arizona, goddammit, all in the desert.
Yes. Yes, I was actually tapping in because my brother and I, we went camping Friday, and we just came back today. But yesterday when we were out there, it was weird because like when we were sleeping in our tent and I was laying down, I kept hearing like this humming noise. And it just kept going for like the longest. And then like when I turned my head, then it stopped. And then it just kept going. And then like an hour later, I heard like, it almost sounded like females in a hyena scream. And it was like, sounded like 8 to 9. And it was like all together. And then it was like that for like 30 minutes and then it stopped.
Mm-hmm. It sounded like it was either jackals or foxes. They make those sounds. Sound like hyenas.
Because I'm thinking like, I was telling my brother, I was like, man, this whole life has been so powerful. Like even this one that you went on this morning, but the previous caller that was on here, she was mentioning about like nursing, and you mentioned about psychology. And I was telling my brother, I'm like, damn, that's crazy. Because like right when I got out of high school, I went to school for psychology, and I couldn't understand. I didn't like the reading, so I just stopped doing psychology. And then I went to school and got licensed in massage therapy. And then I started to go to school for nursing. And then when they made it, it's going to stop nursing. But it's like always had a thing to be with children. I love being around children. And I was telling my brother, like if I went through the nursing program, I wanted to be in the ward that was like with children and mothers.
Mm-hmm. So one of the things, there's going to be a lot of like women who couldn't have children, right? There's going to be a lot of them that's going to volunteer for some of these children taken with special needs, taken from tunnels, right? Some of them, their eyes got fucked up from being kept in the dark their whole life, 8-10 years. You know, some of them have issues with their entrails from being abused, all kind of psychological issues from being abused. And the only thing that's going to overcome all that abuse is a whole lot of love.
That's crazy. It's crazy you said that because I actually had gotten a procedure done in 2016, and I had to get my tubes removed, and they told me I wasn't able to have kids naturally. I can only have kids
intravenously. Test tubes.
Correct, but
in vitro fertilization.
Yes, correct. They said the same thing to my mom too, and they said that she wasn't able to have kids, but she was able to have two. So, but during that process, like after learning that news, like it took me a couple years to understand that, and I was depressed through that time because it's like that's something that I've always wanted to have, you know, to have kids naturally, and it's like I'm still trying to understand the process and all that, like saying that I'm able to have kids because I still feel like I'm still able to have kids because my mom was able to, but I don't know. It's just like kind of iffy. I don't
Your
know.
mother had the same surgery you had?
No, she didn't.
So your surgery is the issue, right? If they took your fallopian tubes.
Mm.
So in vitro fertilization will harvest your egg and match it with the sperm and put it in like you know, that's how they do in vitro fertilization.
Right.
Right. And in that case, you might be extremely fertile.
Mm-hmm.
Right. A lot of times they put more than one fertilized egg in, and you have a multiple birth.
Mm.
Right. So that's something to think about. But I will wait till after the medical system is revamped, because a lot of the things that they was doing is unconscionable to tell the people.
Right.
Right? Like, it's a good chance that they didn't need to take your fallopian tubes. One of
Mm.
the things every woman need to know this: if your pH balance in your vagina is alkaline,
Mm.
none of the stuff, cancer can't live there, venereal disease can't live there, can't function in an alkaline environment, right? And you
Mm.
normally know when it's acidic because it has a scent that comes with it that the woman doesn't like herself,
Right.
right? So this is why it's important to keep the yoni balanced, chemically balanced by periodically they got yoni priestesses that teach vaginal health on a deeper level,
Mm.
right?
I remember you guys were talking about that in the live. I can't remember her name, but I started following her on your IG page. She was talking about it, the yoni and stuff. And this actually yesterday or Saturday, I did some grounding when I was in the field. And when I got done grounding, I was telling my brother, I was like, man, my feet felt so much lighter, like
Mm.
getting done, like grounding, even though it was like 10 minutes, but my body felt different doing it afterwards.
Yeah, because people be amazed that right now we are more sensitive to the energy in our bodies because the frequency is changing, and it's more noticeable to us now than it would have been, say, in the 80s.
Mm.
Right, the ones in the 80s, you had to be an extreme tree hugger in order to be able to tap that energy. Now you don't have to be. You just have to be aware of Mother Earth's connection to you, and then ground yourself to her, and it automatically starts to aid in healing.
Mm. Oh, and then another thing I found out. So when I was in massage school, we read this book about Chinese medicine, and it dealt with like the archetypes, like the earth, fire, water. And I learned that I was the earth type, but I'm not sure how to go upon with that.
When is your birthday?
April 28th, 93.
What's your zodiac sign? April. That's Aries.
Taurus.
Taurus.
Yes.
Yeah. So they send you an earthbender, basically.
Mm.
The earth sign are more stubborn, harder to handle, more determined. When they set their mind to something, it's harder to stop them.
Mm.
Right? Fixed energy. Taurus is notoriously stubborn, but notoriously stubborn with one of the best hearts you want to see. They give you
Mm.
their last, right, if you don't ask them for it.
Mm.
If you ask them for it, they might think you up to something. They don't give you shit. But if you
Mm.
don't ask them for it, they'll see what you need and they'll give it to you on their own, and then they'll feel the satisfaction that they want to know they're doing good.
Mm.
Yeah. So to try to make a Taurus do something, you're gonna make them not do it. The harder you try to make them do it, the less likely they is to do it. But
Mm.
if you ask them nicely and say please, then get out their way so they can get the job done.
Mm. That's so crazy you said that, because I feel like that's how I am with my job. So like I work on a military base. I was in the Army, but I got out last year, but I worked there full time. And like I was telling my brother, I felt like they got so used to me when I was in the Army, like them ordering me to do something, like, yes, I'll do it. But now that I work on a state side, I'm just like, if that's not my job and you guys don't pay me to do it, I'm not going to do it. You know what I'm saying? And that's crazy that you said that.
All day long. You ain't paid me to do that. That ain't on my job description.
That's me every day. Every time my boss asks me to do something, I'm just like, he's not doing nothing. Why ain't you doing it yourself? Like, but I just want to appreciate you, Uncle Rod. I just wanted to talk to you for a little bit, but I'll let you go so you can take another caller.
Okay, sweetie. Thanks for chiming in.
No problem. Have a good night.
You too.
Bye.
How you doing?
Good. How's it going?
It's pretty good. Tell the people where you calling from.
I'm calling from Missouri, but I'm from Indiana.
Okay, well, I'm gonna show you with the bullseye.
Okay.
No, Indiana is what's the Hoosiers?
Hoosiers. So, how's everybody doing? Hi, Uncle. How are you?
I'm good, sweetie. What's on your mind? I like your dreads.
Thank you. Okay, so I'm calling in because I went through a transition. A lot of people have. But when I went through the transition, I went through a couple of things. So I was high one day.
Me too.
And I was coming down, and I was laying in the bed, and all of a sudden, like, I seen this. I call it a static man because it was shaped like a man, and it was
called the crooked man. That's Tookie.
It was right above my head, and it was like I felt the wind. It was like being under a helicopter, really hard winds, and I was like, "What the?" I thought.
When's your birthday?
June 6th, the most beautiful day of the year.
Goddamn Gemini shit there.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay, so finish what you're saying.
So it was like black and gold. And it was when I looked up, I was actually looking up, and it was like there. And I was like, am I fucking losing it? And yeah, it was like staticky. It was black and gold. And I thought it was a portal. I didn't know what the fuck it was, but it had winds and all kinds of stuff. And I'm like holding on to the bed. It was real though.
Did you ever see that TV show Raising Dion when he called the Lightning Man?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Tookie.
Oh, wow.
What's your favorite color?
My favorite color is purple.
Purple. They got teal too. They got a Crip set that wear a blue that's almost looks purple, but it's blue. Yeah, so that's a powerful set. Anyway, the Crooked Man is the personification of Big Tookie energy in the atmosphere. And they call it the Crooked Man or the Walking Lightning. When he come to you like that, he came to you with Big Mama colors. That's not his colors. Black and gold, not his colors. That's Big Mama colors. Right? That means that he's coming to you from Big Mama house.
Wow. I was in my grandma's house too. So that's crazy. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, that's he was coming to you from Big Mama house. You a high priestess. You're a high priestess of Skywalker.
Oh damn.
Yeah.
Big Mama sent him. Like that's when I had my awakening too. It was in 2013, right at the beginning. My dad had just passed away, and all these phenomenons were happening in that house, in the bedroom. Like I unlocked myself in that bedroom. Like I was able to see myself out. So many things. And so when that happened, I was like, what in the hell is going on?
Mm-hmm. So when you get a knock from a high chief like that, it's because you got a high position or high rank in the tribe, right? So when Tukey coming from Big Mama house, you got to be a priestess. If he was coming from, if he was a daddy's girl, he would have came to you in this blue. If he was a mama's girl, he came to you in red. You Big Mama's girl, he coming to you in black and gold, but he's coming out of the blue house. So he's your daddy's grandmama that you're talking about, ain't it? I mean, your daddy's mama.
My dad's mom. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's why.
Yeah, my dad.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Oh wow.
She picked you. She picked you.
Well, you know what? I've always known I was special. I thought it was my Leo moon that made me feel that way. But now you've confirmed what I'm telling people. My daughter's always like, Mom, you're always acting like you're the princess of the house or the queen of the... Like,
okay. Next time your daughters tell you that, say, how you gonna learn how to be the princess or the queen if I don't show you a good example?
Hey.
Don't ever tell them that you is or that you ain't.
She knows.
Just tell them that you set an example so they can be one.
Exactly. She's amazing too. Another thing, because I'm a prepper, like I have everything. So what I want to know is, like, what's in your opinion, like, what is the chronological order of everything that's going to happen? Like, you know.
Oh, I don't do predictions, sweetie. I just read in real time what I see, and then I tell the people what I see.
Gotcha. So you're not on some, there's going to be like...
I can tell you what ain't going to happen. All that gloom and doom and death and destruct, that ain't going to happen. The only motherfuckers going to be getting the business like that is the imposters, the frauds and the fakes.
I hear you.
Right. They have to go. And some of them don't want to leave, and they ain't got no rank nowhere, and they don't want to leave. So we got something for their ass.
Period.
Yeah.
I hear you.
But for the most part, the biggest majority of them was happy to go. Because they know
I'm happy you said that too.
Mm-hmm, because I told them that we don't accept sacrifices on my watch. You can't sacrifice the righteous in order to redeem your wickedness. I don't do that. That's that Enlil shit. I don't do that. I'm the earthborn. Everybody get what they earn, good, bad, or indifferent, with no favor. Just get what you earn. If you get something extra, that's called a blessing. But you ain't gonna get shorted on your shit. That's the way I believe that this is supposed to go. Give everybody what's theirs. I want all of mine to get all of theirs, and then I'm coming for mine. Once all mine get all theirs, I'm coming for mine.
You're appreciated.
Thank you,
appreciate
sweetie.
You have a good night.
You too.
All right. Peace.
All right. I got 2 minutes on this call, y'all. I'm gonna grab me something to drink, and then I'm gonna come back in for one more session. If y'all want to chime in, I'm gonna need about probably less than 5 minutes, and then we're gonna get back on because this is rolling real nice. I'm gonna mix it up on the next one, guys and girls. Part 3 coming up. Chiefing with the Chief.